Ultima may have created us, but he doesn't make us who we are. Only we can do that. And if he would have us fight for our survival, so be it. It's what we've been doing all along.
Much like Ultima himself, it would seem. 5. And so, we must contend to decide which of us shall inherit the land. Should Ultima prevail, it will mean death for us all. Of that, we can be certain. But even should he fail, what world awaits us? A withered, godless place, where our newfound freedom will most like prove a chain in itself.
Well, that may be. But a chain can always be broken. As long as one has the will to break it. It won't be easy. It may take generations. Centuries of suffering. And that is, if everyone plays their part. But it will happen. And when it does, it will be on our terms. That is the world that awaits us.
Indeed. And what better world could one wish for?
Crystal.
Then it's a good thing I have wings.
You can barely stand, let alone fly. And only the Founder knows what horrors await in those skies. You certain about this?
Am I certain? I am the Phoenix. I will do what I must. This is our fight. Remember?
All right. I yield. But only what you must, yes? I'm still your sworn shield.
That you are.
And what of my wings? Lest you forget, you go to stand against a god. I would not have you succumb to fatigue before the fight begins. Ifrit, your brother mentioned that some few of the dominants who had lost their power to you were still able to prime. Is that true?
It is. But their icons no longer submitted to their will.
Then mine will have to be stronger. That you both might save your strength for the battle to come.
You don't have to do this.
If you do, there's a chance you might lose all you have left.
And what have I but regret? My life ended in the Dominion. I fear death no more. Besides, I would have words with Ultima. He has much to answer for.
We are in your debt, Dion.
We can speak of debts when this is over.
He speaks like a man who knows he's not coming back. And has come to terms with that.
That doesn't mean that we have to. Does it, Clive?
Time to talk to Jill. I only hope she understands.
Come to wish on a star.
That might not be such a bad idea. This is it, Jill. You know what I have to do. Why I have to do it. There's no turning back now. This is where our journey was leading us. Where it will end, for better or worse.
I could pray to Metia for you. But you'll be all right, won't you, Clive? You always are.
I did promise we'd watch the moon together.
I'll be waiting.
It's almost time. Better make sure I haven't forgotten. Something tells me this is no mere adventure. What is it this?
Clive, my boy! Rutherford informs me that we owe you our thanks. Hadn't intended for you to get involved.
I would have done the same for anyone else.
You're far too modest, Clive. You'd make a terrible nobleman. But tell me, is the realm truly in as dire a state as Rutherford suggests?
From what little I saw, you were right to be...
I suppose. But I was rather hoping the great and... Alas, it seems that firm leadership is in short supply these days. We must move quickly.
But where do we start?
True, the challenges that face us are many. But in my estimation, there are two key areas to be addressed before any other. The realm's armies and her larders. As you've seen firsthand, it's every man and woman for certain cities have banded together to try and maintain some semblance of order, yes? And yet, the only remedy for the chaos that faces us is unity. A unity that transcends even the borders laid down by our ancestors. In short, if Storm does not stand together, she will fall apart.
But how would one even be...
The armies, my boy. As I told you already, we begin by restoring order among the ranks of those sworn to maintain it. Sadly, I doubt I could convince even the lowliest gaggle of privates to dig a latrine. But I do know someone the High Commander...
I thought he was retired.
He was, until an Akashic army tore through Randalar and killed most of the rank and file. There is no man alive more... And as luck would have it, I've already...
Of course you have.
And he's agreed to help. Havel has always been a man I extolled and...
Of course not. As long as Chaos... And if the
That...
I'll leave for... Would you send us...
Of course.
Excellent.
No.
Say what you will. Lady Karen has seen her...
Pining for something, boy. What is it? What do you see out there? I never did ask where you got that anklet of yours.
From Sid, that's why. On the day he brought him home.
That long ago?
And you're only thinking to ask this now? Sid saw that the pup had a habit of gnawing on his leg, since you ask. Clap that there iron on him to keep him from doing it.
What was wrong, boy?
I'll take like as not. Must have been hard on the poor whelp losing his loving masters at such a young age. Doubly hard in being a frost wolf. Torn away from his icons and all. Sid would always tell him, you want that iron gone? You find what it is you're looking... I reckon what he were looking for was you.
I'm sorry, Torgal. Sorry for making you wait. Let's get that thing off you.
Doesn't sound like...
Indeed. You miss Sid as much as the rest of us, don't you? You want me to go with you somewhere?
Quick, aren't you?
Not nearly as much as you have.
Aye, good thing and all. It's not like Gav would have kept him in nuts and rummed it.
Your kindness is appreciated.
Only because he just...
Where to then, Torgal? All right, Torgal. Where are you taking me? I'm going to need a little bit more than that, boy. Do you have a better hint for me? Unless... you've already given me one. Back on the rear deck, you were looking west. Why don't we try the rookery? I haven't been to the island in... To Port Isolde, then. Fingers crossed the old mooring is still there.
Trouble with your gear, or... Who knows? Crack the crystal. Oh, very good. But then... So, what'll it be? Yeah, that should do you. Not bad, if I do say so myself. Anything else?
Vivian, I read you and I'd be happy to help you find the book you're looking for.
Thank you, Clark. But tracking it down will not...
Please. You have always granted me your wisdom, and it's only right that I return the favor.
You are too kind. Alas, what I ask of you is rather more trying than delivering. I spoke with Hippocrates to see if he had any inkling as to where another copy might be found. But perhaps it is best that you hear the details.
If you say so.
Forgive me, but this book... it set me on the path to becoming...
Clive, my boy. What a pleasure it is.
Hippocrates. There's something I need to ask you. I've been charged with locating a book called From a Distance.
And you seek a rare gem in one whose name I had not thought to hear from your lips. You've been talking to Vivian.
Right as always, but she didn't seem keen to tell me very much.
And yet I gather it did naught to dissuade her. Clive, if the young professor has tasked you with obtaining a copy, I fear she asks the impossible. The executors would not allow it.
The executor?
Coveters of Secrets, a clandestine organization committed to the collection and intenebration of forbidden texts, one such text being the tome Vivian seeks, chronicling as it does the true history of the enslavement of a tale which could overturn the established order were it never actually read the thing, or even set eyes on it for that.
How is it that I haven't heard of this organization?
Why, secrecy is the executor's watchword. They lurk in the shadows, emerging only to seize that which must be seized, be it books, inventions, or people, before disappearing again, leaving nary a trace.
Which would explain why Vivian's copy was snatched from her grasp not long after she found it.
By the hand of the executors, yes.
But what drives them? Self-interest or ideology?
A fine question. Sadly, all that is known of the executors can be recounted in a single breath. You may just as soon ask me if...
Then my hunt was doomed from the first. What was Vivian expecting?
Not from thin air, no. Rumors of the executors are rife among them, but rather less so across... I had a friend in the village of Garnick. Alas, I have heard naught from him since the skies fell dark, but though he did not mention it by name, it is possible that a surviving copy of From a Distance yet rests upon one of his many shelves. If you were, by some chance, able to save even a single book from the poor man's library,
Very well. I'll be sure to pay go. It's still here. After all these years. A lot smaller than I remember. And you're a lot bigger. You might have to swim, boy. This place hasn't changed at all. The rookery's right through those trees. Come on. Race you there? I bet I could still beat you. Here we are. This was our hideaway. Wasn't it, Torgal? Coming here helped me to forget who I was. Or wasn't. Prince, shield. Son his mother could love. Had I been any one of those things? Perhaps. What is it, boy? This is all from the castle. In Phoenix Gate. Did you bring these here? My sparring sword. Well. You never stopped looking for me, did you, boy? Thank you, Torgal, for never giving up, for never forgetting. Let's take this with us, shall we? So I don't forget either. That's not the way back to the boat, Torgal. All right, I think I know where we're going. People always talk about the importance of putting the past, but without it, we wouldn't be who, and we certainly couldn't steer our way to a better tomorrow. Come on, Torgal.
That too.
Papa, what keeps it in the air? Why doesn't it fall?
Don't you go tempting fate, girl.
What is it? Please, just make it stop. I'm scared.
It's all right.
Ready, girl?
Yeah!
be Rutherford, can it?
Turncoats and cowards, the lot of you! If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you shall have!
Allow me.
I don't need your... Please, Field Marshal.
This won't take long.
You're right. It won't, men.
A little longer than I'd have liked.
Fucking traitors. I'd heard reports of soldiers in the outlying regions abandoning the... But I hadn't thought the corruption had reached... It's a fucking your interfering old bastard of an uncle tried to warn me of... My lord Marquis. Or is Sid the Outlaw more to your liking?
Call me what you want. It doesn't change who I am, or the urgency of the message I bring. My uncle has a plan to right the realm, and he...
Before I'd have you answer what do you stand to gain from all this?
I won't deny that I might benefit from that. I seek a new beginning for all. And while the choices I've made may not always have been the right one, I know I made them for the right... For so long. So many of us have been told how we could live, how we could die, when it should have been our decision all along. Now, but in order to take it, we must stand together. Even if it be beside those with whom we don't...
Certainly not the words I expected from an outlaw. You are no... I'll never hear the end of it. All right. I'll start by ordering my most trusted guard to bring the Dalmekian fringes under... Next, I'll make contact with my counterparts in the Imperial Army and see if I can't convince them to try and restore order in...
Thank you, Field.
But they are not the...
What do you mean?
I don't doubt that I can bully some sense into a few generals. But those they answer to require a different kind of persuasion. We will need an envoy. One who can court even the most stubborn of
I'm flattered. And I have other problems to it. What we need is a skilled arbitrator.
Is that so? And would he happen to be an outlaw?
Of a different kind, but...
I suppose we'll all have to find a little of the outlaw in ourselves if we're to make it through this.
I shall.
My Lord Marquis, your Lord Uncle bade me escort the Field Marshal to his...
And I will see that my associate...
Very good,
An envoy. I can barely convince my brother to take his medicine. No. Someone like Quentin. I hope I can convince him at least. Good girl. No need to ride from here. Quinton.
Do you now? Something tells me you'll be asking more of me than a cask of... Go on, then. You'd have me convince the chiefs and chamberlains of the realm that they should simply swallow their pride and do the one thing that has proved impossible for thousands of years. Was there anything else? Perhaps I can fetch you a meat pie as well.
I know it's a lot to ask, but I can think of none better suited to the role.
And you'd have me give up what little I have left to do it. I told you, Clive. The people of Lostwing are my family, and I cannot abandon them. You'll have to find someone else.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So am I.
And why might that be?
What he's asking. How's it any different to what you've done so far? They want you to speak for those who can't speak for themselves. That's what you do best. If it's the vineyard you're worried about, we'll see that the grapes are picked and the tons filled. You know we will.
It's not that.
Then what is it? You said yourself we're family. Don't you trust us?
You know that's not what I'm...
Then what are you saying? That only we are worth saving? Why turn your back on everyone else? You convinced us we could build new lives for ourselves, and if you can do that, who's to say you couldn't convince the entire realm?
Stir, I fear that any rejoinder I make might fall somewhat flat back...
So you'll join us? Field Marshal Havel will want to speak with you in person. I can arrange for a party of Cursebreakers to accompany...
That would be very much appreciated. I hear the roads are far from safe.
My uncle will want to know that his plan is taking shape. Let's go. The entire village looks abandoned. Now, which house would a bookworm live in? This is a Royal Army logbook. Did he take this from the local... His interests were certainly varied. This is it. But if what it says is true, I need to get this back to the hideaway.
Leaving so soon, stranger? We've been watching you. From a distance, so to speak.
Subtle. I know who you are.
Then we need not waste time on... Hand me the book. Leave it in our care and return to your...
Your care? Do you mean to burn?
That is not my decision to make, but by one means or another, its contents shall be removed from the common record.
Then I'll have to politely refuse. I won't let you erase our history.
Then we find ourselves very well. The book can just...
Let's see, shall we?
Impressive, but we have other means. We shall...
Why do you want it so badly?
It lays out in no uncertain terms the vanity. It tells the shameful history of the persecution and oppression of a gifted few. But would you say that this interpretation was correct?
I don't know.
You don't know. Your sword may be sharp, but your wits are dull. So let me answer for you. There is no correct that a series of events took place may be proved beyond a doubt. But there can be no single, immutable explanation, as it is a question of number. If enough people believe that a set of events occurred for a reason, that belief...
So you're trying to control the truth?
We are trying to protect people from knowledge that would bring them naught. That is all. You may keep the book. The world is small. Until then.
Wait. Damn it. Let's get this back to Vivian. Vivian, I found it.
You... Even though I asked this of you, I was not entirely sure it would be possible. I feared the executors had seized every copy.
I met with one of these, and I convinced him to let me keep it. He told me something, that the truth is just a matter of collective belief, and that if enough people believe a lie, that lie becomes the truth.
It does. But it also means that the truth is not immutable, that it can be changed. provided that those who wish to change it can convince enough people that their perspective, as the sad history of the bearers proved.
You said that the book inspired you to become a...
It did. Or its author. She was a heretic, you see. A firebrand and a dissenter. A gallows stood ready for her in every corner of the realm. And by shunning society, or perhaps being shunned by it, she stumbled upon a truth so potent that I, too, have always felt somehow set apart from the world of men. She taught me that my solitude was not a curse, and that, though my journey to the truth might be a lonely one, what I found at my destination...
Do you still feel that way?
Honestly? I'm not entirely sure anymore. Since coming to the hideaway, perhaps the result of studying mankind from a rather closer perspective. But the more I study, the more I find So if you'll permit me, remember, Clive, when enough people believe, belief begets truth. Give the men and women of this benighted world the gift of...
I'll try, Vivian. Uncle, the Field Marshal has agreed to... Rutherford is accompanying him back to your They will await your return.
One other?
Lord Havel was concerned that even... He asked if...
One of you...
Master Quinton would probably call me one of his.
Another outlaw? Just the thing we need to put these rotten... Good thinking, Clive.
I'm glad you...
The more the...
Uncle, assuming Havel and Quinton can solve our problem, you still haven't mentioned how we might manage the grain shortages.
Oh, don't you? The 7 high houses will be seeing to that. They have all agreed to make the most generous of donations. Oh, of course, it did take a little but luckily I had some...
From who?
Why, you, my boy. Rumor has it that you rescued the Lady Ariane's head steward, Rockford, from a horde of blood...
It was more of a handful.
Well, the old battle axe was soaked. She had a shipload of talents delivered to my private docks by the next new moon. And when the other houses saw the parsimonious old crone's purse strings finally loosen, they as good as tripped over themselves. Now, join us there at your earliest...
Of course, Uncle.
And how, pray tell, will we get that grain to the capital if the roads are still up?
You'll find another bloody road. I only have so many men, and I'm not about to send them headlong into an... That is, unless you'd have them turn as well.
Well, I'd certainly eat less.
Says the man with a belly bigger than a band of curls. My soldiers actually need their rations. Without any food they'll be dead even before you've sent them on your fool's errand.
If perhaps I might suggest an alternative. Though supply routes are indeed disrupted, there is no shortage of ships. Indeed, they bob away in every bay from here to Randalar, awaiting a safe... Allow them to make port and fill their bellies full of grain. And once those who crowd the cities are fed, ferry the displaced back to the countryside to work the fallow fields. But I'm sure that you wish to continue your discussion. Forgive two such firm friends as yourselves need no help from the likes of me. Rutherford spoke fondly of the great bond between
us.
I can't stand the man.
Clive, I'm beginning to question the quality of the company you keep.
And what kind of company were you expecting him to keep? The man's a criminal.
Criminal? How? You are not fit to breathe the same air as this... Fine.
Upstanding. He calls himself Sid the Bloody...
Once more onto the breach.
Shall we begin again? What we seek here is not to create a new nation, nor to claim the thrones of those that already... We wish simply to bring stability to the realm, and to do that we must convince those in power, the generals, the statesmen, the nobles. There will be disagreements, yes, and I imagine some resistance, much resistance, but we cannot let that deter us. If we show them the path, show them that we walk it ourselves, then I am confident they will follow. The fate of the world lies in my nephew's hands, but the well-being of her people lies in ours. And we must not squander the... Citizens of Valisthea! Well, my boy.
That it is.
This is the role you were born for. Now I ask only that you trust in the talents. We shall play our parts to the best of our ability. The realm needs it. I want you to keep this signed accord.
I will.
What do you think that thing is?
Ah, Clive.
Joshua, what's wrong?
I've received word from Cyril. The Undying have found Father's will.
His will? How?
In the crypt, beneath Rosalith Castle, after Kupka was kind enough to drive out the Imperials, the Undying took the opportunity to recover what relics of the Duchy yet remained. And in the process of doing so, they found a letter from Father.
I'm surprised anything survived down there.
Cyril asked that I join him in Tabor at my convenience. I have been meaning to go, but... would you join me?
Of course. I want to know what's in that letter as much as you do.
Very well. I am ready to leave when you are.
Must we away? My decision is made. You said it yourself. He must.
He must.
Make ready.
Sid, do you have...
By all means.
It's my old master. Seems there's no escape. And so,
Leave.
Sid, while I'm well aware that you...
We'll be needing the Enterprise.
Does that...
I'm making it, and we stay no longer than we have to.
Thank you, Chad. Thought...
He must be...
He was.
Then we find him.
The entrance to the prison lies in the shadow of Ravenwit Walls. We should head there.
As do I.
Sid, I was wondering if you could help me.
It depends what...
A bearer, but recently freed from his bonds, is keen to join the Curse Break. As you know, the work we do is not easy, which is why we test every volunteer's suitability.
I don't mind, but...
Because he wants to be a... Our ranks are filled with men and women capable of breaking chains and putting slavers to the sword. But scouting, we're few with the nose for that, which is why we still rely so heavily on Gat. And since he accompanies you on so many of your missions, I thought you might be better placed.
Sounds reasonable.
So you happy to oversee the boys?
One can never have...
True, I'll let you in. And there he is.
No time like that.
No time like...
Northreach. I don't suppose they could have chosen somewhere closer.
Your Grace, my lord, I trust your journey was not overly onerous.
Cyril, you found a letter from Father?
Yes, I have it here. If you would do us the honor, my lord.
An inheritance.
It would seem the late Archduke penned this missive shortly before his passing.
The day before we left for Phoenix Gate.
What are these plans he spoke of?
His plans for the duchy, Your Grace. Your father entrusted them to my predecessor, the former bearer of the Burning Quill, who entrusted them in turn to me. The complete emancipation of bearers is their stated aim. But your father's dream did not end there. His Grace also spoke of building hospices to care for those stricken by the curse, and the founding of a new university to further the development of non-magical technologies. With the blight spreading ever more widely across the twins, Archduke Elwyn saw this as the only means of securing Rosaria's survival.
He wished to see men and bearers treated as equals. To see centuries of common wisdom overturned. Small wonder he did not think it achievable within his lifetime.
But he thought it achievable nonetheless. Had he not, he would never have written this message. Nor would he have entrusted his vision to his most faithful aides, those who would have stood with you, shielded you from the machinations of the less benevolent personages at court.
It's a pity only they are still with...
'Tis true that those most loyal to your father were the first to suffer, but one at least remains. And
what do you mean?
Mayhap it is better that she, after all, the duties entrusted to me by my predecessor, extended only to recovering His Grace's will, and arranging a meeting with the one who might execute it.
And where is this woman?
She awaits you in the archive, Your Grace.
Thank you, Cyril. Shall we then?
My lord, your great... I am Goditha, retainer of House Rosfield, loyal servant to the Your father, the Archduke Elwyn, entrusted me with the delivery of a gift. I only hope you can forgive my tardiness.
Lift up your head, Lady Goditha. You have our gratitude for your service to our...
I merely did my duty.
My lady, perhaps what exactly is the gift?
As I'm sure you know, it has long been the custom for the children of House Rosfield to be presented with certain keepsakes.
Indeed it has. Our father often spoke of the day when
And had he lived to see it, he would have presented you with the treasures I bear. Matching arm, alas. He did not live. Indeed, he was taken. He had intended to claim the Heartstone with which each armband was to be finished himself, but it was not to be. And his gifts remain incomplete.
I see.
It saddens me to bring them before you, as they are. It was your father's wish that you be presented with the finished articles, not these works in progress. But with His Grace long since gone, and the stone left unclaimed, I had little choice. You are grown men now, and his house is yours. And while I would not presume to insist upon your claiming the Heartstone in his stead, I know that nothing would have pleased him more than for you to do so.
Thank you.
What say you, Clive?
What else? Of course, my lady.
Oh, I am much obliged.
Do you know where we might find this?
I do. Though it may be a matter of a good deal more. It is found in the bellies of elder griffins. We do at least know where to find one. A certain specimen has made its nest in Titan's Wake, not far from...
A certain specimen?
You are most perceptive, Your Grace. In answer to your unspoken... In fact, this is the very same beast your father meant to slay. I have been tracking its movements since you were but a boy. Were you to slay it in his stead, as men of House Rosfield, it would surely...
What say you, Joshua?
What else?
Come on.
Yeah!
Eyes peeled, Joshua. You deserve a rest.
There it is.
For House Rosfield. is the Heartstone?
I expect Lady Godotha will know.
Here, take a look at my wares. Anything else? Of course. A fine choice.
The griffin is...
And the Heartstone?
Yes. This radiant luster, like frozen flame. It is just as your father described. Thank you, my... Your father would be...
Lady Godotha.
Thank you, Cyril. If you would excuse me, I shall have the stone cut. The armbands are complete. Pray. Heartstone is... And the graven vines encircling the stone
It's a message. Father knew we had enemies who would thwart his vision.
And only if we stood together. As Phoenix and Shield. As brothers.
Indeed. But this was more than... It was a promise.
Thank you for remaining the steadfast...
Forgive me, my lady. There is something I don't quite... The Undying told me that after Father died, Mother claimed all of the ducal treasures for her own. Even if the armbands were incomplete, she would surely not have overlooked them. So, how were you able to keep them?
Because I was the keeper of the vault. Though I was but a lowly servant, your father spoke to me of his intentions of the deep love he had for both of you. In the days before the disaster at Phoenix Gate, I discovered that the Duchess had ordered her jewelry be sent away from the castle. It was then that I knew she meant to betray us. I tried to warn your father, but it was when word of the fire reached Rosalith, I knew my time was short. So I took up the arm
and thanked the Fount.
Yet my duty to your father was incomplete. And so my pursuit continued. And he informed me that His Grace's will had been recovered.
Lady Godotha, on behalf of my father and all the people...
As do I.
Thank you, my... for coming back to us. For...
The bands suit you well. It must be gratifying to finally...
It is. And we thank you for the part you played.
Let him see that you have received his blessing.
I suppose it would be church. What do you say, Clive?
I think I was hoping to be able to offer him my thanks.
Your father's helm is enshrined since the day we recovered it. I prithee claim it. For it too, and I do not doubt that your father would prefer it in your hands.
Thank you, Cyril. Come on, Clive. unwavering will and an unbreakable bond. Do you really think we're strong enough?
To save the world? Of course. To have overcome Father's political enemies. Of that I'm less certain. Especially knowing what we know now. What Mother was truly capable of. But perhaps these bands would have helped. Knowing he was with us would have made all the difference.
It's just back there. Father always fought for what he believed was right. It wasn't until that night at Phoenix Gate that I realized I had never fought for anything. I always had someone else to do the fighting for me.
No matter how fate conspired against him, he never lost heart, never looked back, never stopped fighting. To me, he was the greatest of men. And I've been trying to live up to his ideals ever since.
We all have, Clive. We all have. And we'll keep trying. Because that's what he would have wanted.
What he would have done himself. Even if it meant standing against the very gods in the heavens.
I shall be borrowing this, Father, if I may. That you might watch over us as we follow in your footsteps.
We won't lay you down.
Onward then.
Onward. To the end.
And to a new beginning.
Good girl.
Yeah!
Doris is waiting for me near Balmung Dock. The longer she's out in the open, the more likely she is to be found by a Kashik. I need to hurry. to the stables, Carl. There were no guards, I take it?
None manning the gates. It's a different story inside, though. The corridors are crawling with Akashic. Most likely guards left behind when the wardens... If Chadwick was being held here, I worry that he...
Don't give up hope just yet. But let's move quick. Let me check the ground floor. The ether's thickest there.
Then I'll search the upper level. Good luck. Sit.
Just how bad are the floods inside the walls? Bad enough to turn a bearer. Locked up tight. So this place was no ordinary, and I doubt they'll have taken the creature with them when they fled.
No sign of any bearers yet. I hope you have better luck downstairs.
Have care.
Minimal loss of Waluda lives. And what happens when they run out of bearers? Even the Imperials take better care of their branded than... were feeding bearers to it. This is even... Nothing but a Akashic down here. Hopefully things are looking better upstairs. I should go and see how Doris is getting on. No lock downstairs. But I did find out that this place was more than just a prison. Something far more.
I know. I've been reading some of these documents, and bearers die every day in service of their masters, but this, pitting bearers against a wild beast armed with nothing but their wits? And not just those who could fight, but the elderly, children even, and those who wouldn't or couldn't were...
I'm afraid it means they were fed to...
Then we're too late.
Don't say that.
A key. But...
Perhaps it will fit one of the doors downstairs. There's a corridor I haven't searched yet. Finish up here, then come and find me.
All right.
Let's see what we can find down here. A survivor. And she sounds close.
Who are you?
There's no need to be afraid. Are you alone? Are there any other survivors?
Some of the guards. They're still here. But everyone...
Thank the Founder.
It was worth our coming. But I'd rather we didn't linger.
Ready when you are. You poor thing. He must have been terrified.
Dad...
What?
He fought the monster. He must have sent you. He promised to free the others too. Where is he? He opened your sound, didn't he?
Chadwick.
Was that?
Monster's back!
We have to get out of here.
Doris, keep the girl.
All right. You put that bearer-eating bastard in the ground.
It's out there waiting for me. I can't let it live. Not if it's got a taste for bearers. The beast will wreak havoc if it ever leaves the prison. I can't let that happen.
you're finished.
Finally.
Sid, are you hurt?
I'm fine. I think.
No.
What is it?
A diary. I gave it to Chadwick before he was here.
I'm sure he fought bravely to the last.
Chadwick.
Come on. We have to get her back to the hideaway. We don't want his sacrifice to have been in vain.
No. Of course not. I'll see that she's looked after from now on. It's the least I can do.
From what I hear, you've barely left the girl's side in days. I hope she's recovering from her ordeal.
She is. Slowly but surely. She's far tougher. I thank the flames we found her. If we hadn't...
I know. But we did. I'm sorry we weren't able to...
There's no need to apologize. Without your help, I would never have found out what happened to how he fought to the bitter end to save her. To save Haida Marie. That's the man I remember. The man I thought of as a...
I wish I could have met him. I'd like to hear more about your past.
Of course. You already met my former master. She trained Chadwick and I to do two things. Kill and obey. We were supposed to be sold to the highest bidder when the time came. But no bid was ever high enough to convince her to part with us. For years we were her daggers in the shadows. But we could never quite shake our doubts about the things she made us do. And then, one day, we just couldn't do them anymore. So we escaped. But staying together was out of the question. They would have found us too easily. After so many years of training, the pull to serve was always strong. It scared me to think he might have taken another master, become a dagger in someone else's hand.
But even in captivity, the battles he fought were his own. And he died not as someone's tool, but as a hero.
Haida Marie is proof of that. Bearers can cast off their shackles. And the Cursebreakers will show them how. I'll fight until my dying breath to see it done. For Chadwick, and for all of us.
Thank you, Doris. We'll be count.
What do you think happened to Miss Middle?
Sid, you have to help us.
With what? You didn't take apart another of Mid's contraptions, did you?
No. Well, yes. But that's not what we want to talk to you about.
It's Miss Middle. She's been acting strange. Very strange. She's barely ever around.
When she is, she acts like we aren't even there. Her head's
in the cloud.
That's what I said. In the clouds.
Well, she does have a lot on her mind. When did you...
Not long ago. Right up.
Then it's probably just about the Enterprise. It did take quite a battering on the way.
You didn't break it, did you, Sid? You really should be more careful around Miss Mididol's invention. Don't listen to her. Even if you did break the Enterprise, you could put it back together, couldn't you?
But who's gonna put Miss Mididol back together?
Why don't I go and see if I can...
You do that. She's in...
Don't scare her.
Thanks for the warning.
I will not let them be forgotten. Sid, may I have a moment?
Of course.
It is an honor to finally speak with you. My name is Herman. I've been with the Cursebreakers for some time now, and I wish to be deployed to Ash. Any assignment will do.
No. The lands across the Narrow are too dangerous. I will not send good men and women to risk their lives needlessly. Why would you want to go back?
I need to retrieve something. Something important. I was raised in an orphanage. The Badbach Conservatory. Or rather, I was held captive there. It was not a place of nurture. It existed solely to turn bearer children into mindless weapons. We were tortured until we feared no pain. Tormented, and few ever survived long enough to become...
I can't imagine.
I lost so many. But they must be remembered. The Institute was run with military precision. Every child...
You were a good friend, but the fact remains that Ash is simply too dangerous.
Sid.
Too dangerous for you, Herman. I'll go to Badbach and find the registry.
You will?
I won't let you risk your...
I don't...
You can start by telling me where I'll find this orphanage.
Vida Grace. Hidden...
All right.
May the Mother...
Has Mididol mentioned a new project yet?
Mid.
That's it! I knew it! The answer was right here! If this doesn't steer to the skies, nothing will!
To the skies? You aren't trying to give the Enterprise...
What else would I be doing?
The children seem to think you're avoiding them. Is this really so important?
The Enterprise is already the fastest ship in the realm. And that's with the sea... But what if she weren't bound to the waves? It's not fair that the fallen... Well...
And is that a one-woman job?
Are you volunteering? But first then I'll...
If it...
No.
I should speak with one of the Cursebreakers before I set off for Old Hill. See if I can't find this bone while I'm there as well.
All right, Sid. Come to buy us around, have you?
Only if you earn it. Mid needs a piece of light but durable bone for her next project. You've encountered your share of beasts on your travels across the realm.
Most bones are the same. Whack 'em hard enough and they'll break. If it's durability you're looking for, shell will serve you better. You know what an adamantus is?
I do. And I know... Will any old adamantus do?
Well, with shells, the older the harder. There's a rumour of an ancient adamantus down in Karava, near Old Bidza, but don't expect to make quick work of the bastard. There's a reason it's lived as long as it has.
I'll keep that in mind. Nazaire might at least have mentioned where in Northreach he'd be testing this recruit.
I've nerve. Well met, Sid. This is the Initiate. Ember, present yourself.
At your service, Smart.
Please, just sit. There are no masters here.
Oh, of course. The sergeant says you'll be evaluating me at my trial.
To become a scout, yes. You are aware of the dangers inherent in that role.
I am. But I swore I'd face them. Just like the man who saved my life.
And who would that be?
Gav. It was him who found me and freed me. No magic. It taught me what one man can do. And I've been training ever since. So that one day, I can...
You clearly have good intentions, Ember. And it sounds like you're under no illusions. Stick to this path and you'll make a find.
So... what?
You haven't even started yet. Not far from here is an Imperial lookout, Eastwatch. The guards there record all their sightings in a logbook. You are to find it and bring it here.
And bring it here, right.
No. Sneaking into a heavily guarded Imperial outpost and stealing it. You'll need to assess the situation, determine a point of entry, create a distraction and affect all without being...
Ember, Gav isn't our best scout because he can do everything. It's essential that you know your limits.
Know my limits, right. I won't let you down.
It shouldn't be as dangerous as I made out. But keep a weather eye on him all the same, would you?
On my way. All right, Ember. Impress me. Come on. Run like the wind. These are clean kills. Perhaps young Ember really is ready. Or maybe not. Damn it.
Ember, draw your sword!
I can't!
Then run!
If you want it.
It's over.
Gone. Of course.
A fortress? And who'll pay for that?
I didn't expect you back so soon. Where is Ember? How did he fare?
I thought I'd find him with you. He must have fled. I followed him to Eastwatch, where I found him being set upon by a wild Avis. He was just standing there. Didn't even draw his sword. I had to step in and take care of things. But by the time I had, he was nowhere to be seen. I assumed he'd set off in your direction, but apparently not.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sid. I knew the boy had a nervous streak, but he seemed like...
The right man for the job? I believe this is the logbook you told me.
Don't you tell me you breached the tower while Sid was busy saving your...
What? Wasn't that what you asked me? To bring the thing back without getting caught?
He has you there, Nazaire. And he did it all on his own.
But Sid!
He did what he thought was best. And now...
Of course. Don't you leave...
Yes, Sergeant.
This won't be an easy decision.
Fly, Ambrosia.
Here we are again. Carava. If you were a tortoise talker, where would you hide? Looks like we found him. If Mid needs another, she can come and get it herself. Mid's well. After what happened here, it's a miracle those ain't. After it all. I better get these materials to Mid so she can finish her prototype. Let's go. Faster! No need to ride from here. This must be the orphanage. Hopefully the registry is still here. Conditioning. Disposed of. Herman wasn't exaggerating. It's a wonder he survived this place. I need to find that registry. This reads like a suicide note. Did the director go through with his plan? There's only one way to find out. A forked white tree. This must be the place. Could he really be buried here? something hidden among the roots. This must be the registry. So many names. This place was a slum. But where is the architect of all this misery? It was only a matter of time, I suppose. This place is cursed. Too slow. Nice try. It's over. I needed that. I'm done here. Let's get the registry back to Herman.
There's something about it.
You should have seen him.
Welcome back, Sid.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Truth be told, it was me who suggested roping you in, but...
No. Ember lost his nerve in the face of a beast of prey, but he didn't lose heart. He pressed on, and he achieved his aim. And is that not what we ask of our scouts?
Indeed it is. The fact remains, however, that Ember will not always have a battle-hardened warrior on hand to pluck. All I have gleaned from this trial is...
Wait, Sergeant. Ember still has much to... And this time he was... After all...
With a best good...
I'll...
Daft as a brush, that one. But his heart's in the right place. Just like someone else, And if you ask me, we've been leaning on him. That time it
couldn't hurt.
Just don't tell Gavel.
Forgive me, Sid. This did not play out as I...
But that's why... Remember that.
I will...
Mid, tell me this is all you need.
Aw, you make it sound like I asked you to save the world or something.
Tell me this is all...
It's most of what I need. After you left, I went over the figures again, and I realised I'd forgotten a one and a cogwheel. Just a tiny one. Though, that's the problem. Gears that small are a bastard to make, and I may have lost the one Blackthorn spent a fortnight toiling over.
Wait, the children. When they took apart your scales, there was a tiny brass... Now that I think about it,
The young'uns? I'll keep working on the model.
Sid! Is Mid...
She wasn't hiding. She's just busy working...
A new invention? Is it an airship?
Do you think she'll let us...
That just so happens to be why I'm here. A brass gear. A tiny one. One...
Oh! The one...
We saved it, just in case.
Since your lesson, we've been disassembling, then all the pieces that are left over.
That's...
Look! I found it! Is that all?
That's all for now.
Thanks, Sid.
Has Midadol mentioned a new project yet?
Well, did they have it?
They did. And they kept it somewhere nice and safe. Will it work?
Will it work?
What exactly are you going to use it for?
Only the most. The wings aren't going to move on their own. But with the right cog in the right... Well... That should do her. Here goes nothing. Titan's tits.
It wasn't supposed to fly, was it?
Of course it was supposed to fly. Wouldn't be much of an airship if it didn't. Honestly, these bloody engines are driving me mad. I was so sure this would be the day she soared. The Mithril engine was made to make dreams come true. But maybe this is one dream the world's better off without. show folk how to take flying. It won't be long till they're raining death down on each other. People will lose their homes. Children, their mums and their dads. Like I lost mine.
I'm sorry.
So am I, Clive. So am I. Sorry that I have to choose. Do I follow my head, or do I follow my heart?
Good question. The first time I stood on the deck of your ship, felt the wind in my hair. It was like I was flying. But imagine how it would feel to actually do it.
My dad always said there were two ways of living life. Chasing a dream or shuffling to your grave. And he were right. Right about a lot of things. Not that I like to admit it. People need dreams to chase. Especially in a world like this. Right. When this is over, I'm gonna take all my mithril engines to Zemeckis and sling them over the edge. I won't have my dream end up turning into someone else's nightmare.
But all that hard work...
All that hard work will not be used for war, Jamie. But it ain't like it'll be gone. Tell me, Clive, have you ever been on a treasure hunt?
Not since Joshua and I were boys.
The engine schematics, and leaves behind a little riddle telling people where to find them. A really hard one, so that only the most dedicated dreamers will ever be able to work it out. Ooh, I can picture it now. Some daft general squinting at the words with a gormless expression on his mug. Like that one, yeah.
Right.
Of course, won't be much. Put it in the... And I reckon...
I'm sure...
Has Midadol mentioned a new project yet?
I hear. Did you? The director was a brutal man.
The registry was all I found beneath the tree. There was no sign of a body.
I pray that at least all their names are here. My friends. I can still remember their fate. Children who were taken from their bunks in the morning. No explanation.
They'd be...
But why did I make it out alive? When so...
It's not your fault. See that they're...
I'm going all up, and in the...
Neither will I.
These
Do you suppose it's magic keeping the thing afloat?
What else could it be?
You alright?
Something troubling you?
It's just... Eda's baby will be coming soon, and I wanted to make something for it.
I'm sure she'd like that.
Back in the north, families would always make gifts when a bairn was on the way. Yeah, let the little tykes know they were welcome in their new home.
So?
Well, the problem is that Eda's due any day now, and I don't know if
Is there anything I can do? All right then. Not just...
No. There's no luck yet, and all thing is...
Only the big day is fast approaching.
That or the...
Well, there's no shortage of those passing through Martha's. I think I might make that my first port of call.
You're a good...
If... It's usually me making demands of her. I suppose not.
Did I mention there'd be deadly beasts? There'll be deadly beasts. Nothing a train Justin can't handle them.
How reassuring.
You're welcome for that and the shortcut. Maybe they're friendly like Torgal. Or maybe they're not. Finished! Stay down! We still have a way to go. beasts? Well, the shrubs in these parts are much better.
And you only think to mention this now.
Well, that's the undergrowth sorted. I'll take it from here. Mind your head.
Lawsman Harpocrates.
Ah, yeah.
You spoke of making amends with Dion.
Then I should begin by... This was some years ago, of course. Before... At that time, I was counted among to supervise the young... All to ensure that, alas, our time together was cut short. I had not...
Have you spoken?
No, His Highness not when I know he dwells upon the evil Ultima.
The guild weighs heavily, but as you...
When I first met him, it was not... And I did nothing to ease that burden. He bore it alone. Until the day he could not bear it any longer. It is one of my greatest regrets that I only ever offered him my wisdom, when what he truly needed was friendship. The blame for Dion's transgressions.
I see. I'm ready to...
Then I bet apothecaries across the ages agree that even to glimpse such a flower is to be granted in fabulists and...
Well, it can't hurt. Where can I find...
You have seen cultivated wyvern-tail. Well, there is a waterfall in Rickmal's roost across the... Whether they...
It's all right.
Thank you, Clive.
Joshua, I read your message. I don't think I'd realized how different, but...
I suppose it's not hard.
She doesn't think she belongs anymore.
And that's why we need to let her know, but how?
Of course. Do you remember the time we accompanied Father and Jill and I broke from the procession to ride up Man's Hill?
To see the snow. It was the first time Father... And when he realized...
It was the Lord Commander.
And then it seems you and...
Man's Hill.
Oh, true. Though...
You're saying I should...
I'm saying we should first go and see if there are actually still any snow daisies left. What would you do without me, Clive?
Help you today, Clive? Come to claim your just desserts?
Come again. I may have more for you.
Fancy a look at the list, do you? Anything catch your eye? Seen enough?
Let's hope one of the merchants here has what Gav needs. Excuse me.
Oh, well, they're not.
A silver chocobo feather.
Oh, or maybe not. There was a man stopped by the rest not long ago claiming he was attacked near some gutted hovel. Most
will. We've got a few rooms going, Serenine.
Look, Daddy. It's shining so
It doesn't still hurt, does it?
Oh, dude, you've the look of a man who could do...
I'm looking...
If that's the case, no word if any...
You're probably right.
I've got greens of all shapes and sizes.
Anything catch your eye? That all, is it?
Just because the heavens have gone to wreck and ruin it,
Good to see you. When I was a... I swore. But the wind... Like being half of me with... It ain't exact... And that's... Give the others my regards.
Looking for shelter, are you?
The hills around the rest are crawling with wild chocobos. If you're not too picky about the colour of their plumes.
The feller who claimed he was attacked didn't linger here long. Said he was gonna go back and capture it. Prove us all wrong. And that was the last we ever heard of him.
We've got a few rooms going spare now.
Just because the heavens have gone to wreck.
It doesn't still hurt, does it?
The people of the rest may seem to be in high spirits,